So I just do want to touch on theatricalism and realism and convention one more time because it's going to be really important to our discussion of actors and acting. Um, and also because we've moved past the history discussion in here. We did hit on the Greeks and on Aristotle and the poetics briefly in the text, and in some text lectures was covered as well. But I do just want to mention the idea of mimesis or mimesis, Mimesis. It's in your glossary, which is Aristotle's basic idea of mimicry and the fact that the need to mimic, the need to represent, is germane to the human experience, or to all living animals' experience. You know, little kittens, they don't play with each other just to have fun. It's also so that they can practice killing their lunch, which obviously is not so necessary for domestic cats, but is still part of their DNA. And whenever you represent anything, whenever you mimic anything, you have something that's being represented, right? And then you have the representation of that thing. So you have something that you're representing and the representation of that thing. And there's a distance between that, right? Because they're not the same thing. The thing that I am representing is not my representation of that thing. They're two different things. I have my representation and I have my thing that I'm trying to represent. And the closer they are, the closer we are to realism. So, for example, in cinematic realism and cinematic naturalism, if we're representing, for example, in a summer blockbuster, a car exploding, we just blow a fucking car up, right? We can actually have it exploding. On the stage, not just because the mechanics of the stage or the finances of the stage may prevent that, but also because we decide to embrace the distance between the thing being represented and the representation of that thing. That we embrace that distance, that we say, not only am I going to say it's okay that I can't actually have something explode, but further, I'm going to say I don't want something to explode. I want to embrace the distance between these two things. I want to say I'm going to use that distance to strengthen, again, the motifs, the symbols, and the themes of this play. I'm going to use the fact that I don't have that explosion. So if I have a play that is about anger and abuse, loss of control, right, which is one of the themes in Festin, and the play happens to involve a car exploding, and I on stage, rather than having a vehicle actually explode, which maybe we could do in a big Broadway production. There's a very famous Broadway production called Miss Saigon, in which a helicopter actually lands on the stage, a real helicopter with turning prop and all that. That I decide, you know what, I'm going to have a cardboard cart, and then an actor is going to walk out in front of it and just scream, like Munchian scream, just like the screams, ah, and that is going to be a convention. That's going to be my theatrical interpretation of the car exploding. Well, it does two things. First of all, you're never going to recreate an explosion in a way that's absolutely as you would experience it were you to see it on the freeway, because even in a movie theater, you know, you're sitting in a plush seat with your feet stuck to the floor. You're not actually watching an explosion, so it's never exactly the same. And additionally, you get this added benefit of this horror and pain that the actor is able to drag up, which puts you in mind of the themes that you're looking to go after in the first place. So as that actor is screaming on stage, the audience gets what they need to get practically, pragmatically, which is that in the narrative, in the linear narrative of this play, there's a car that explodes here. But they also get to feel the pain and the release and the catharsis and the anger that the actor is going through there, which is one of the themes of the play. So when we make theatrical choices, we embrace the distance between the thing being represented and the representation of that thing. We embrace that distance. We say we want that distance. So as you watch Festin, I want you to really explore the ways in which those distances are embraced, the ways in which the director has chosen to make theatrical choices instead of realistic choices, and the way that that interplays with psychological realism in the acting.